So I don't know where we get this perception that, we should get it right away, or we should, why? You don't get anything that way. Why do we think, I'm not going to work out because it's too hard. I want to be here. Mm-hmm. I'm here, and I know it's going to be work to get there, so forget it.
I think we get that from growing up watching, even if you watch Rocky or any of those movies, it's still within a 2-hour period that all that happens.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the thing. You see him go from just broken down, and I love Rocky, one of my favorite movies ever, and then building up, and the montage is always so inspiring. It taps into DNA. You could tell something's deeper about those montages than you think. And then when he almost wins at the end, or goes the distance, spoiler if you haven't seen Rocky yet, too bad, you feel the feelings with him, and it's that human story that seems to keep repeating. But according to the movie, it should have happened for you in 2 hours as well.
Yeah, no, that's a good perspective on it. I hadn't really thought of that. And that's, excuse me, that's, such a powerful thing for people our age. Like when I was a kid, I was obsessed with Rocky. I was in boxing. I got into boxing.
Really?
For 2 years, I was in boxing.
I didn't know that.
And I still have the albums, the soundtracks.
The Black Album with Rocky written on the front.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then I have Rocky 2, Rocky 3, Rocky 4.
I had Rocky, Mr. T, Rocky 3. Yeah.
Yep.
Eye of the Tiger.
Yeah. They were so good at like, what a great song for that, and then with the dialogue. And I wonder if Stallone wrote that first, or if he heard that song and then added that.
Oh, the Eye of the Tiger thing?
Yeah. Because, in the movie, there's even, a scene where, Apollo talks about, you got to get the Eye of the Tiger, back.
Did you hear the story about that? Mm-mm. They originally wanted Another One Bites the Dust, and they couldn't afford it for some reason, or they couldn't get the rights to it. This is just coming off of Behind the Music or something I saw. Yeah. And so they gave it to Survivor, I believe is the band that did Eye of the Tiger. And they took the same groove, if you think about it, and they just put jigga, 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 jigga. And then I think he took, from what I remember, some dialogue from the movie and just wrote Eye of the Tiger with it.
Wow.
So it was supposed to be Another One Bites the Dust, which might have been not as effective. I don't know.
Wow. It's crazy too. Like, watch the video for Eye of the Tiger. It's so cheesy. But the dude who sings it isn't the guy that was in Survivor later.
Oh, really?
Remember Survivor had like all those cheesy hits in the late 80s, ballads and stuff. And like, I remember seeing that and going like, that guy doesn't sound like the guy who sings Eye of the Tiger. And they must have had a change of lead singers at some point. But it's so funny if you watch the video, because it's like cheesy, because it's like they're walking down the street, that kind of towards the camera that, it's just.
Can't be as cheesy as some Journey videos I've seen.
Oh, so. I know, the one where he's playing the keyboards, air keyboards.
Fake drums, yeah.
But, what I was going to say about that is that for like our generation, like Rocky and stuff like that, those inspirational things, like you talk about tapping like into your DNA, like to me that seems totally legit, just because of I know the effect it had on me. I was so obsessed with like Rocky and like working out. I would work out as a kid, when I'm like 7 or 8 years old. Like it's going to really make that much of a difference. But, I would like, go downstairs and lift weights and jump rope and like do all this stuff. And it really did have a big impact on how the way I looked at everything. It's almost like put into that, in all of our minds, we want to be that underdog who kind of like comes through. And so you can see about after years of experiencing that or having that in the back of your mind, seeing those and then seeing Rocky 2, 3, 4, 5, having it reinforced, and then the Karate Kid and all these different other movies.
It's in every movie.
It makes sense as psychologically how it's there, you know?
It always seems like there's a powerful entity you have to overcome, and then the rebel we side with, because it looks like they're just going to get crushed, and somehow they come through. Mm-hmm. It's the whole Evan Drago, Rocky IV, the Russian. How are we going to beat that guy? He just killed Apollo. And all that. Did he kill Apollo?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. That's
Knocked
right.
him out. And Rocky didn't throw the towel in time.
Right.
And James Brown was there to sing Living in America.
And it's such a contrast from when Apollo was coming in with all the decorations and the hats, and he's all happy. And then just to see that look on his face when he knew it was serious, that was heart-wrenching. I still feel it because I could see his face. Like, but isn't that weird how sometimes those inspirational movies can carry you through your whole life? Like, I still remember the feeling I got after Karate Kid. Mm-hmm. To this day, I'm still doing martial arts. I wonder if I'm still chasing that feeling.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I remember some comedian did a bit about this, about, something about like, if you ever want to see white guys like, going nuts, like see 'em coming out of a theater after watching a Rocky movie. They're looking to fight anybody, And I remember being, a kid, and just be at somebody's house and you'd watch a Rocky movie and you'd just be like, you'd walk out of there like, man, if anybody comes up, we'll kick their ass, like.
It does. It fills you up with those feelings.
Yeah.
I grew up on ninja movies, and I was young enough, thank God I wasn't old enough to get arrested, but I used to wear ninja uniforms. I went to this place called Rising Sun in St. Paul, and I had a whole black costume, and it wasn't a Halloween costume, it was real. And I bought a samurai sword and Chinese stars. Don't ask me how. I was so young, I got away with it. And I would sneak around my neighborhood and go from house to house. I wasn't peeking in windows or anything like that. But I'll never forget one day I thought I was such a badass because, the movies make you think you can be invisible and all that.
Right.
And I remember being out in the woods and I climbed a tree and all of a sudden this dog, I was about to climb a tree and this dog started barking and ran towards me. And it wasn't on a leash. And I remember I got so scared I almost started to cry. And the owner came out and was like, hey, and he got his dog back. Leave that kid alone. And I had already taken off my mask, thank God. I would look like, attack him. But I remember crying and going, I'm not a ninja. A ninja wouldn't cry.
Oh, that's
when my dream of being a ninja died.
wow. That's